Hello, the birds and I welcome you to Rambling Through Dave's Garden. It seems that I have little control over very much in this garden, most certainly neighbors' lawnmowers and the chirping of birds. My wife suggests that we buy the neighbors electric lawnmowers to keep the racket down. I'm not sure that's a reasonable suggestion. Today we will be touring the side garden, continuing our tour of the garden, and I'm standing beside one of my favorite azaleas, Twist, that has just come into flower within the last few days. Twist is distinctive amongst the re-blooming Encore azaleas in that it has pinkish blooms that are often striped in purple, but also some completely purple blooms that come from its parent plant. And in the early years after this was planted, it was disappointing that the number of the few flowers that it had. After talking with the breeder, Buddy Lee, he assured me that give it time, but that the best placement for Encore azaleas was with a bit more sun than what is here. I think that after the removal of an English yew several years ago, this area does get more sun, but still, as the azalea has gained maturity, it has flowered considerably more than it did when it was young. Amongst other features, this garden is distinguished by poorly maintained stone pathways, and in particular on this side garden where shallow roots have made stones so that they rock and are uneven, and for me, I'm used to it, and it's not an issue. But I must issue a warning to any visitors that they must watch their step first and plants second. The ground in the side garden is carpeted by primarily hellebores. It is the original area that hellebores were planted in the garden, and many are quite sizable. This is a seedling that is nearly 4 feet across now. There are cinnamon ferns and a variety of other ferns here. Also some spring flowering Camellia japonica, and the 3 quite large oak leaf hydrangeas that are limited in flowering somewhat by the shade, better in sunnier spots, but still very nice in this area. Area is a mishmash of Christmas ferns, rob spurge, euphorbia, and wood poppies that pop up only in the spring as we go down the stone path, a very informal stone path that used to be have a little bit more organization to it until roots from the maples kind of knocked everything astray. But another oak leaf hydrangea, this one Little Honey, that was moved from a sunnier spot on the other side of the garden where where the foliage burned in too much sun, even though it was not full sun. So we go down the stone path to the lower end of the side garden, and again we're here at the top. We see the Hartledge wine calycanthus. In this shaded side of the garden, in the shade of a burgundy lace Japanese maple, there is Japanese forest grass, a variety of hostas, a wide-spreading carpet of ajuga, Marvel Mahonia, Akuba, hydrangeas, Japanese painted ferns, geraniums, seedling geraniums, and then the celestial shadow dogwood that is just beginning to flower now in the second week of May. Of 3 dogwoods in the side garden, this Venus is the oldest of the dogwoods, and I suppose that it flowers more sparsely than others in this shade, with another Venus flowering much more prolifically in a slightly sunnier part of the garden. A pagoda dogwood notes the entry to the lower side of the side garden, and we then move on to stone path, a bench that is occasionally used for sitting, and many hellebores that are with a good number of these being seedlings, as this is somewhat of a drainage area. Seedlings have sprouted 50 feet down to a natural creek that is below here. As we reach the lower edge of the side garden, we will end today's tour. Next time we will feature the upper section of the rear garden with its 3 ponds and many plantings. I thank you for stopping by and visiting Dave's garden, and we will see you next time. Goodbye.